In this video, we're gonna go over all the steps needed to buy crypto. Now, if you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan Pineda. Most people know me for real estate investing. We do over 100 plus house flips and wholesales every single year, and that's where I've made the majority of my wealth. But one thing that I have gone heavy in this year is crypto. I actually own over $1 million in crypto right now. And most of that was bought back in January and February, and I've gotten significant appreciation since then. My portfolio is mainly just the big two. It's Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've been buying some random altcoins, some I've made money on, some I've lost money on. But at the end of the day, I think that Bitcoin and Ethereum are the safest bets. Just me personally, not an expert. I just started buying heavy this year, but I'm gonna teach you how you can go buy Bitcoin, how you can buy Ethereum, and most of these bigger, safer coins. So with that being said, let's talk about the very first thing you need to do. Number one, you've gotta open up an account at an exchange. Now, there are a ton of different exchanges, but the two biggest ones are Coinbase and Gemini. You may have heard about Coinbase in the news. It just went public. It had this huge valuation. It's probably the biggest exchange in the world. The second one is called Gemini, which is owned by the Winklevoss twins. If you're wondering who the Winklevoss twins are, they're actually those guys who Mark Zuckerberg screwed over in the social network. They were the ones who came up with the Facebook idea that Mark ended up taking. But don't feel bad for them, because that led them down the path of crypto, where they started buying Bitcoin when it was like $10. And according to them, they own 1% of all the Bitcoin in existence. And if you're wondering how much money that is, it's a lot, and it's made them both billionaires. Now, they're billionaires just in owning Bitcoin, but that has nothing to do with their company Gemini, which is extremely valuable as well. But with all that being said, it doesn't really matter which exchange you use. They both have their differences, pros and cons. Definitely go look into it. But you want to open up an account at either Coinbase or Gemini, or you can just open them up at both because they have different coins they offer. You see, that's the main thing you got to realize about crypto trading, is that in order to buy certain coins, you're gonna have to open accounts at certain exchanges. Coinbase and Gemini will have some of the biggest coins, but maybe some of these other coins that you wanna go buy aren't listed there. For example, Ripple, which has been under SEC investigation, used to be on Coinbase, and then they removed it once it got into the lawsuits. So if you wanted to go buy XRP and catch that massive run that they recently had, you would have had to go to a different exchange to buy it. So most likely, as you continue to buy more crypto, you're gonna end up having accounts at multiple exchanges. But for you as the beginner, if you're just getting started, my advice is just open up an account at either Coinbase or Gemini, because you're gonna probably just be buying Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now, once you've opened up your account, it's really simple. It's like opening up any other account. They're gonna ask you for your information. They're gonna ask you for your social. They're gonna wanna get a picture of your ID and verify who you are. The reason for that is they're gonna tax you if you end up having gains. They're gonna send you documents showcasing how much you made. It used to be back in the day, you could trade crypto anonymously. People wouldn't know. You don't have to claim taxes. It's just kind of this underground thing. Well, with Coinbase being public now, they're definitely not doing that. Gemini is the same way as well. So you're gonna have to pay taxes on your crypto if you were wondering. Now, the next thing you're gonna have to do is fund your account. Now, there's multiple ways you could fund your account. You could just do a direct deposit into it. Direct deposit has a maximum limit, so if you're looking to do a lot, then that's not gonna work. The max deposit will vary user to user, but if you wanna send a lot of money, you're gonna have to do a wire. Now, for me, when I first wanted to go heavy into crypto in January, I wanted to send a wire for $200,000 because my maximum deposit was $25,000 a day. What ended up happening actually cost me a lot of money. I went over to Wells Fargo. I said, hey, I want to send $200,000 to Coinbase. Can you approve the wire? They said, yeah, sure, no problem. It's your money. We'll wire it for you. It'll be there tomorrow. Well, the next day I wake up, I look in my bank account, and the wire was returned. And I said, what happened? And they said, well, we don't want to wire to these crypto institutions. We have a policy that we're not going to do it. And side note, that is the whole reason that crypto exists. The fact that they're going to control where I can send my money and how I want to invest is not right. But they view crypto as a threat, and so they want to do everything possible to prevent its spread. Obviously, I don't think it's going to work out too well for them, but that's just my opinion. So the reason I tell you that story is because if you are looking to do a big deposit, don't be surprised if your bank denies it. What I ended up having to do was just do the $25,000 daily deposit, 8 days straight. The problem was, back when I wired and wanted to buy, Bitcoin was around $20,000. By the time those 8 deposits hit, Bitcoin was at $40,000. I lost a huge opportunity. I would have doubled my money. So thank you, Wells Fargo. You cost me $200,000. But nonetheless, I was still patient. I waited, and I ended up buying a dip and getting it for $31,000 with that initial 200 grand. So anyways, once you get your money on the app, you're now able to do a bunch of things. One thing I would suggest doing is go into your security settings and giving yourself the maximum amount of security. One of the ways to do that is through the Google Authenticator app. So I like to put Google Authenticator on anything that lets me. Here's how Google Authenticator works. You're gonna link it with that website, let's just say it's Coinbase, and they're gonna say, hey, send the 6-digit Google Authenticator code. The only way that you can have the code is on your phone where you have the app downloaded. And the thing is, the code changes every 30 seconds. So even if somebody got the code right now, it ain't gonna work 30 seconds from now. So if somebody wanted to get my Coinbase account, they'd have to know my password, they'd have to know my PIN for Coinbase, and then they'd also have to have my Google Authenticator. So it's really difficult to hack and then go take my money. And that's the biggest reason why you have to have such high security in crypto. Because once a transaction goes through and money is sent one way or the other, it's irreversible. No one can do anything about it. So if you get your money stolen or you get hacked, you're screwed. It is what it is. Whereas with the banking system, if something like that happens and you have fraud, they can go and retroactively reverse all those charges. They can go try and find the person and get everything wiped out.
Headed for the finish.
Not so much in crypto, so you gotta be very careful with how you protect it. So here's the other scary part about Google Authenticator. If you lose your phone, you lose all those codes and you may not be able to get into your exchange. So what I suggest is having multiple Google Authenticator devices. You could go get a backup phone that you put in a safe. Maybe you put it on another device like an iPad. Maybe you put it on your spouse's phone as well. That way it's not all in just one place and then you're screwed if you lose your phone or it gets broken or stolen. So you're not only trying to protect your money in the exchange, but you're also trying to protect the things that protect it. Now, once your account on the exchange is protected, you're gonna wanna start buying some crypto. You're gonna have an idea of which one you wanna buy. Maybe it's Bitcoin, maybe it's Ethereum, maybe it's another altcoin, I don't know. Me personally, I'm a big believer in Bitcoin. I think it's the safest one you can get. I think it's gonna be widely adopted as a store of value. It may end up becoming a currency somehow, but they got a lot of work to get there. But overall, I think it's one of these things that's not gonna go to zero. With the altcoins, they could have tremendous runs that way outperform Bitcoin, but they could very easily as well go to zero. So I do think Bitcoin is the safest investment if you're gonna do crypto. I also like Ethereum because it is used for so many different things. Just like Bitcoin, it also has its problems. It has really high what's called gas fees. A lot of different coins use Ethereum to do transactions. And the way that they do that is by paying gas fees to the network. And I don't wanna complicate it too much, but it's just the fee to do the transaction. And so sometimes if you wanna send 10 bucks, it might cost $20 in gas to do it. So it's a really inefficient system right now, but they're looking at fixing that with Ethereum 2.0 that's coming out later this year. But nonetheless, don't worry about any of that stuff right now. All you gotta worry about is on the exchange, buying the coin that you wanna buy. Now, my motto is to always buy the dip, but you could also do dollar cost averaging where you just buy a little bit every single day. That way you don't have to be on the highs and lows. No matter how you buy it, once you do, you now have a decision on what to do with those coins. Your first decision, which many people do, is they just keep it on the exchange. If you buy it on Coinbase, you can leave it on Coinbase, and you're gonna trust them to protect the crypto. Now, there is a saying in the crypto community that says, not your keys, not your coins. At the end of the day, what that means is if Coinbase goes bankrupt, your coins are gone with it. If Coinbase loses your coins, which really could happen, then they're gone and you're screwed. If the government tells Coinbase they're stopping all withdrawals, you're screwed. And the hardcore crypto purist will tell you never keep your coins in an exchange or with somebody else. You want to control your coins and you want to control your keys. And you might be saying, well, how do I control my coins then? So you're going to buy what's called a cold storage wallet, and you can go look them up on Amazon. A very popular one is made by Trezor. And I'm not going to go over the step-by-step of how to use it because I'm still not even completely sure, but I'm sure there are a ton of great videos on how to set the wallet up and how to make sure you store your private key safely. And speaking of private key, you might be wondering, what the heck is the private key? Well, whenever you buy it on Coinbase or Gemini, they have the private key in their database. And essentially, the private key is like the password to get the money. And that might be a bad example, but just think that you need the private key in order to access your coins. And what a lot of people like to do with their private keys is they will put them in safety deposit boxes, and they'll actually cut them up into multiple pieces. They'll have the first bunch of numbers in one location, a second set of numbers in another location. That way, if any location got hacked, they don't have the full picture. Is all of that necessary for you watching this video? Probably not. If you have that many millions to protect, you're probably not watching this video. For me personally, I haven't been putting my stuff on cold storage. I'm actually putting it with a third option. And the third option is BlockFi. And so the way that BlockFi works is you send your money from Coinbase to them, and now you're gonna start getting interest on the coins. And the cool thing with BlockFi is they're gonna pay up to 8% interest on that money. And so if you look at the screenshot right here on my account, you can see that I'm accruing interest for the crypto that I'm holding. If I was gonna hold this crypto with Coinbase, I would not be making any interest. But the fact that I'm with BlockFi now, I get to make interest. If I put it in cold storage, I don't get any interest. And the other cool part about BlockFi is if you deposit there, they'll give you up to $250 as a bonus. I would highly recommend using them. Obviously, I've got a lot of money with them, so I do trust them. But that being said, there are risks with BlockFi, just like with Coinbase. At the end of the day, they've got my keys. They control my coins. Those same things I talked about happening with Coinbase could happen with BlockFi. And so it's just this risk reward thing. Honestly, for me, I trust that BlockFi is gonna do a good job holding them. And honestly, I don't want the responsibility of having all these safety deposit boxes or potentially losing a cold storage wallet. I'd rather trust BlockFi to hold it and get interest. That's just me. The hardcore crypto people would not agree with that, but it's just what I choose to do. With BlockFi, you're gonna wanna set up the same Google Authenticator app and make sure that it's very secure as well so that nobody can hack it. Now that your crypto is there, you're pretty much just chilling unless you wanna sell. If you do wanna sell, you're gonna have to transfer it back from BlockFi into an exchange. Now let's talk about transferring crypto in general. Anytime I'm gonna send crypto to a new address, I always wanna do a test payment. As we said before, crypto transactions are irreversible. And so I want to send a small amount to make sure that this address is correct and that the person I'm sending it to received it. Whether it be an exchange, whether it be my friend, whether it be a different company, you want to send a test payment first and then send the rest after it's confirmed. The other thing I'll say is, as I said before, I'm mainly just in on the big coins. If you do want to buy altcoins, you're going to have to open up accounts at multiple exchanges that trade them, and you may have to do a ton of things that don't make sense right now. You may have to get a VPN because that exchange isn't allowed in the US. You may have to wrap coins so that they can go on a different blockchain. It starts to get really confusing when you trade altcoins. But they can be highly lucrative or they can lose you a lot of money. I mean, that's the risk with altcoins. But if you're watching this video and you've never bought crypto before, I just highly suggest taking the steps that I outlined for you. Buy one of the big cryptocurrencies. My advice is Bitcoin. I believe in it in the long term. And then just go take that money, put it on BlockFi, start making interest. That's pretty much my whole strategy. But if you got value out of this video, do me a big favor, hit the like button. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe because I've got a lot of new content coming out that I'm really excited about. So make sure you're subscribed and so you get notified every single time I drop a new video. And if you're not following me on all my other socials, make sure you go do that as well. I'm active on there daily. And until next time, peace.